And we are recording. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, team. I'm gonna dive right into everything, single thing. I'm not gonna do the whole futures thing. I'm basically gonna get straight into the nitty gritty. This is gonna be a 20-minute live. It's gonna be recorded. I'm gonna go over every single thing entitled to this week, next week, week after, and months out, even 6 months. Over the weekend, yesterday, to be exact, we did a live stream brainstorming, non-recorded. I mean, the reason it wasn't really recorded was it was just so much going on. I was just allowing you guys to be inside my head and see exactly what I do, how I approach strikes and everything like that. But I promise you next week, well, not next week I can't. Well, this weekend I can't. But the following weekend I can. I will go live and on a Saturday, and I will allow you guys to see how I brainstorm. We're going to call that live stream Inside Ninja's Head. So we're going to start off with Pru. Pru is a ticker that we've traded before many times. We've traded MET, M-E-T, which is insurances. They have taken a beating in the past, I think, 2 months? And currently they have that look again. So right now, yesterday we brainstormed going over Pru. Looked at the chart. This is the weekly. Shows a nice weekly box, a nice bottom formation. Still inside of a bull flag. You can call it a cup and handle, whatever fits for you. Well, actually, I'm not going to call it a cup and handle. I'm just going to call it a flag. But basically, it's flagging nicely within this channel, nice and clean. And currently, we are looking at monthlies because Pru, you can only trade monthlies. And to play Pru weeklies, you would have to play MET. MET and Pru move basically similar. I mean, I can do a side by side and show you the weekly for MET. I'll do that real quick. This is MET. Weekly is basically similar, not as far as the flag goes, but as far as basically the bottom pattern. Nice double bottom, outside weekly, targeting the upper 14 SMA. So look at MET when you're playing Pru. For those that don't want to wait and are impatient, and to be honest, Pru definitely does have the same setup for as MET. You can see here, rising channel as well. It can be a bear flag, whatever you want to call it. Possibly insurers can take a hit, who knows? But so we're looking at a couple of strikes, 3 different strikes with time. And I made a post in the chat basically stating, if you're going to buy anything long-term, at least buy 5 minimum contracts. If you have a small account, the best way to basically capitalize on these things is to play in the money or basically buy with time. If you have a $500 account, for Pru, this would be awesome for you. 5 contracts. They're currently trading at 34 by 39 by Monday. Hopefully that will drop. I'm looking for a $1 drop Monday with no volume. And we're targeting a gap fill on a weekly for Pru, which is going to take about 2 weeks. Maybe it can happen this week. But next week is basically when. This week is the 13th, this Friday. Next week is the 20th. Pru monthlies expire next week, Friday. So we're going to take the 85 calls. And we're going to lotto the 8750 calls. We're going to lotto the 8750 calls exactly when price actually pulls back. So if we get a $1 drop, I'm going to be sitting on bid. Also, we're looking at 90 calls for October, the 18th, basically a month out from next Friday. And then another 2 months out from there, we're looking at the 100 calls. So we're looking at 3 different strikes this week to buy and get into position for. Making it going short with you guys. Targeting minimum 200 to 500% on this trade, maximum 600 to 30 bags or 3,000%, depending on how the trade works out. This is another somewhat setup of NetEase to where we bought a lot of time with it, just in case. You know, we're playing the ER, basically with October 18th calls. I know Pru has ER the 14th. Well, nope, the 4th. So we have enough time to play this one. the 4th of October. So those two strikes would be great. We'll already be in position for any run-up that's going to happen. Targeting somewhere north of 100. But current short-term target in the next 4 weeks is 93.11. Gap closing is around 88.13. 89.47 is a trigger, which is the red bar. It's middle of the lower gray bar and upper gray bar, as you can see here, which upper gray bar is 102.63, lower is 77.71. So surprised we have not seen that. I didn't see it go that low. I don't know why I took it off the radar, but it's a nice falling wedge also. It's creating a nice pattern, and it has a vacuum that has to happen. You guys know how vacuums work. Last time Pru traded in a vacuum, I'll show you guys here. I'm going to get the arrows up, open this up a little bit. Give me a second. Let me open this up for you guys. So last time, get my arrow. Crossed below 1430 SMA, rejected. Came all the way down here, bottomed out. Hit the 14 SMA, but it went straight through, came back, bounced off, came back, went out, came back in, and then it ripped, right? So here, what I'm looking at is something similar in a sense. This one just strictly gap down, so that gap's going to fill very soon. Nice box pattern here, which I love. I love boxes, and on a weekly, it's very powerful, just as it is on a 30-minute. 30 minutes is what we use for SPY. You'll start getting familiar more and more with box patterns and how boxes work. It's based off of 3 candles, and it's a very powerful candle. And it works even on the downside as well as a reversal. It's a reversal pattern to me. So basically, we're seeing this come down here. We're going to move here, possibly bounce, hit up here, come back down, and then we're going to just be seeing a lot of this. This is what I'm seeing, top of this channel before, if anything, if it fades out, or they get it over, hit here, then come back. I don't know, depending on how the year end goes, but this is basically what I'm seeing. So we're going to buy time with these. We have no choice. It's monthlies. I love it. For those that want to play the weeklies for MET, look at MET. They had some volume last Friday on the calls that are expiring this week, about 1,000 contracts traded. So let's move on to the next one. That's Pru. Dow still on the list. Dow was basically a 10-bagger for us. Actually, 6.16 to $1, let's say 700%, which is not bad last week. Which I made a mistake and I didn't sell. It's not even I got greedy. I didn't sell. I just had a price target, and my target was 120. It hit $1, and then it couldn't break $1 after that. So we got Dow. Dow's basically, we used to trade this back in the days when Dow was when Dow was independent. Then Dow merged, became Dow DuPont, which was DWDP. Then reverse merge, where it split again. Now it's independently trading again, which is even awesome. Makes better for opportunities. And I just love this. I love all of this. It's hitting every single level as it goes. Every single level, every single point. My thing is we're going to get a target for that 14 SMAs, 47.36. It's going to be interesting to play this one. I say it's best to play it either in the money. We play Monday, and then by Tuesday, Wednesday, play some lottos, get it going. But we need to get this back over this double bar. Once you get back over this double bar, we're going to get a little bit resistance here at 48.15. Once you get over that, we're going to target possibly 51.69, bounce down here, then move around. This is what I'm looking at. You guys are getting basically the pattern, what I'm seeing in Dow. It's very easy money. I'm not going to lie to you. You can buy 2 weeks out and you can still make money on this one, especially on any side. You can buy calls 2 weeks out and play weekly puts. You can buy puts 2 weeks out and play weekly calls. You can make money on this in so many different ways. So how I do this pattern now is basically an inverted head and shoulders. If that works out, this bottom's right, we can make some decent money, catch this bottom here. Those that play commons, you can buy commons for it as well. And I'm going to move on to the next one. So this is going to be a 20-minute live. NetEase. I mean, my baby. This is my baby. You guys know this is my baby. I've been on this thing since it hit bottom of this year, since beginning. And I love this stock. I love it a lot. People will say, talking about China, NetEase is not good and this and that. With all the China talk and everything like that, people are missing out opportunities. I don't listen to what people say. I trade my ideas the way I trade them. And this is why it works for me. And now everybody's jumping aboard NetEase, and I see a lot more talk on NetEase. This is funny because we already on NetEase. It's like, where were you guys when NetEase was bottoming out? Where were you on ER? Everybody was going puts and strangles. We were going calls. I said it would be. And we're targeting upper 289.27. Get over that and it's over. I want to see, because what happened is 289.27 has been some resistance coming off of that decline. What was that? 2017 to low 2018. Now we have an opportunity to capitalize on it as we've been doing. This was the play for me, playing out beautifully, playing out well. This is where we usually get long. This is the long play here. These two levels, these levels are the long play. If it does come back down here, let's say it comes back down here, it'll probably come back down here at the end of year. Take some March calls for 300s and let it play out. But if this rides and continues to stay up, come here, bounce down, come up, come back down, maybe a little slight bounce up, come down, then rip. Instead of coming down here, different possibilities. Possibilities are endless, but still I'm 100% bullish on this. And I would like this to actually, I mean, it already did. It already formed a nice cup and handle here. 1, 2, 3, break. So that's netties. We have strikes already going for that. You guys know how I am. Play at the money, near the money. I would look for a gap down on weeklies. We're going to find what's the in-between of our extensions with a retracement. And by using that retracement, we're going to go from red to gray, middle. And these are going to be the points. We want to see a bounce of 268.96. If Netties gets that bounce this week, I'm long 270s, 270, 250 calls. Netties has been doing great. It's got back to its 12 to 10-point ranges daily, which I love. I love the flag that it had last week. That weekly flag was beautiful. Nice inside weekly, and then crazy up on that Friday. Next up, we have CI, an old baby of ours. I mean, people ask, oh, how you pick your stocks? We trade the same stocks majority of the time. Why? Because it's what works for us. It doesn't fail us. It just comes off of our radar and it gets back on our radar, which is just how any stock is. You know, you take it off the radar, you stop watching it. And then when you stop watching it, somebody else is watching it for you, this is why we're a team. We continue to look at the same plays. My man D always looks at everything and he's always in sync with me, which is good. This is why I like everybody, like, I give you guys plays, add it to a watch list, and just always monitor them. And if just because nobody's talking about it doesn't mean they're ready. But sometimes when nobody's talking about it, that means it's a good time to start looking at either spec longs or spec shorts, depending on where it's at. I usually, when I'm taking profit, it's usually because I feel like it's topped out. Do I go the short route? No, I really don't, because I'd rather focus on the upside on these plays because the upside is a lot of money. The downside is just as much. It's just you have to be on time with that. You got to be in it to win it. And CI, me and D went over this together. And what's crazy is we called the bottom this past Friday. He was short. And I told him to make money on that while I was long. And this is why I took the 150, 250 calls and the 155 calls. He was short from Thursday into Friday. I was long. And I told him, I said, if we get this bounce over here around 150, if this 150 holds this week, that's it. It's a bottom. It's bottomed out. So far, that's exactly what's happened on the weekly. Now we're going to look for the mid-range here. I'm going to use blue to lower double bar. Actually, I'm going to go here. Let's use this. Perfect. I bring up the daily up. These bios have been acting very weird, and I don't know if anybody paid attention to them, but they've been acting crazy. VRTX has been so freaking strong. VRTX is definitely still on the list. Made us money last week. But if you look at this daily chart, it's easy to point out what's going to happen here. We have a nice bull flag happening here on the daily. I like these two red bars, followed by a green bar close. Tested the 14 SMA, closed just above it, just under it, sorry. So we weren't looking for a move above 154.96. I'm looking at 155 calls to open Monday, tomorrow. But I want a slight pullback. If they pull this back to 152, I am in absolutely at 155. I will take some specs for 157.50s, and I will take 160s as a lotto. 160s lottos won't work until we are above 156.80. So when price gets there, pay attention. Pay close attention, because this is how you get into a lotto. This is how your lottos work. Lottos work when you have a confirmation. You confirm that level that you need for that lotto to work. 156, all you need is $3.20 to hit 160. But you don't want it to just hit 160 unless you just want to collect the premium side. If you want that lotto to really work, you want it to basically go beyond that. So I wanted to get over 160 and at least test. Let's see, you got 30 SMA has 160.57, which is around 160.35, which is going to come down to here, which is some resistance over here. Not much resistance around, but we want to see a close above 161.27. If we can get over 161.27, it's ready to go long for 165. So I would buy 165 2 weeks out. Sorry if I'm talking too fast, but I want to make this as clear as day. I have everything in live. You'll see tomorrow. You'll see everything here. You guys can watch this video over. You can see every single call I have. Everything is calculated. The 13, 155, 157, 160s. These are all going to be on watch. I'm not going to jump into 160s that Monday open. No, I am not. That is the dumbest thing to do. That will be the lotto. Even though there's already volume in there from last Friday. That's because people were just getting into position just in case something happened this week. As you can see, I got the 920s, 157.50s, and the 162.50s. I'm playing smart. You know, these are for people that's going to buy time. You want to buy time. You get this vacuum from the 14th to the 30. Price starts moving inside. See, what I want is the price to touch the 30 SMA, go above it, close somewhat above it, then reject, come back inside. That 14 is going to cross around 156.80. The 30 SMA is going to cross around that time too. Price is going to be right back over it, and then we're going to look for a very 3 weeks to 4 weeks out 170 calls. Double bottom bar, and then we're looking for this upper trend line to test. Next up, GWW. This is another one of my babies. This one did great this Friday as well. I don't know, something about this stock, I love it. I mean, this is the daily. Not a fan of the daily, but we have this gap here that was already filled, but that's also going to be some resistance. So 285, 284, 22, 285 calls look nice. Basically how this opened, how this closed Friday, I like that it closed above 277.08. I told you guys that's what we were looking for. That's perfect. As you can see here across the board, look at 277, which is the green level. Price closed above it once, then it rejected, and it just kept rejecting. Then it closed last time when it had the ER. As you guys can see here, show you right now, here, and then we got boom, boom, rejected, came all the way down. Now we're bouncing off this blue 264.20, playing here, now above purple, bounced off purple, this is our channel. And then we got that 277.08 close above. Now I want to see us retest 277.08 at open, take 280, 280, 250, and 285 calls for the week. Targeting 289.96 this week, depending on how it plays. We get over it, this blue line here, remain long. We get over 289.96, start looking at more longer term. But this is a tight triangle. So let's see how this one plays out. We have the calls ready that I'm watching. You'll see on the side in the video. That is GWW. Let me show you the weekly as well. Weeklies are also important because sometimes the weekly has a 14 or 30 SMA as a resistance or a support level. And for GWW, yes, we do have that as well. Resistance is the 30 SMA at 283.30. I love these lower wicks here. All these lower wicks. Always. Hammer, strong lower wick, red candle, then big green candle. Hammer, red candle, and then two greens, looking for another upside. So we closed on the weekly. See, this is what's important. We closed on the weekly here, above 277.08. Makes me bullish. Targeting 289.96. Now we're basically trading inside 14 and 30 SMA. Now vacuum already happened last Friday. Now we want the vacuum we want to get above that 30 and find a support. So we're looking for 277.08 to stay above that all week. If we come below it, that is a time to get into 80s for Friday or 282, 285 lottos, because I feel like Friday would push that. They want to keep this above 277.08 to target 289.96. Targeting 300 end of year is still in target for me. I have, as you can see on the side, I have calls for that 300, 305, 310s, 310s. I have so many different calls. Next up, we got URI, another one of my babies. We caught this bottom. Long term, I like this play, but it's amazing with weeklies. When SPY's up $3, URI is up $4, or similar, $3, or $6. It depends on how strong the gap of it. If you get a 40-point gap, a 60-point gap, you're getting a 10-point move on URI. A lot of you guys don't pay attention to stuff like that, but that's very important. This is why I trade URI all the time. It's basically trading SPY. Strong SPY, strong URI. There was a point in time where URI didn't care about SPY. So that was basically based on all institution. When you see a stock that usually trends with SPY, with the SP 500, and then it stops trending, that means that it's either institutions taking over that stock and they're in control, just like NetEase. Institutions are taking over that stock and they're in control of that stock. That's something you guys gotta pay attention to. A lot of people don't pay attention to that. We got a vacuum 1430 SMA. It's gonna happen. Why not? URI 117.14. We still are in September 20th. Next week's Friday calls 120s. We got in those very cheap, under $1. They hit almost $3 this week. That was about 200 to 300%. I got into the 117s as a lotto. I was doing it. I was on live. I got in 8 contracts. Those went up 2,000%. I got lucky. I got them at 11 cents. I got them at 11 cents. They went to 250. So I got lucky on those. But I only had 8 contracts. Nothing big, but it was that's enough money. You know, you can't complain. $8, an $88 position that went to, what is that? 16 over $2,000. That's not bad. This is why small is good. I spec a lot of plays. This is why I look at lottos. Some lottos I'm not in, and I tell you guys, this is a good lotto. The reason I'm not in it is because either I'm already bidding another lotto or I'm bidding another position. Sometimes if I'm not in it, you guys get it before me. That's always good. Sometimes I'm chasing after you guys, it doesn't bother me. I don't care. Like I'm very patient, so I can. If a trade doesn't work for me, I'll wait. By end of the day, if I don't like how it is and it's already breaking my levels, I'm out of it. We did that earlier in the week with a couple of plays. I know Knock was one of them. Hum was another one. Hum, we actually made our money back, but then then it tanked. So keep this one in mind. 117.14 closed this week. I mean, we're definitely looking at 121, 122 this week, but I'm looking at 134 calls in the next 3 weeks. So if I'm looking at that in the next 3 weeks, I'm actually looking at that in the next 2 weeks as a spec play, 2 weeks earlier than the projected target date, which would be target week. So 134.85, I'm gonna buy them possibly the 130 calls. I'm gonna buy them 2 weeks out plus 3 weeks out because I want to basically get a premium. I want to get basically how can I say it? I'm trying to find the right words, tongue-tied. I want to get that premium value. I want to get scratch it. I want to get that good profit from it. I want to collect on the premium side as well of it. There's nothing wrong with collecting on the premium side. So that's URI. Next up, we have TTD, another one. This one I took a hit already. To be honest, like I said yesterday when we were strategizing, I want to do puts to hedge. We're looking for this to come down to 225, break that, and test the 30 SMA, or come even closer to 30 SMA. A vacuum down will put the 30 SMA close to it. So I want to get into that and go long from there. I want to go long 230s, 232, 50s, and 235 calls, and then also want to get into at least a month or 2 months out the 240s and 250 calls. Targeting still 270. I mean, by the time we got it, we got September 27th. So this one's gonna take some time. It didn't play out the way I wanted it to, but the target is that we get a close above 231.79 this week. That's what's important. I wouldn't mind a gap down and test that 30 SMA upon open, get into calls two strikes away from the low, or 2 strikes away from the opening low, or 3 strikes or 5 strikes away, 5 points away. So that works. So that's TTD. I have not added. I definitely took a starter. I have 15 contracts in. I have not added yet. Still holding Daku. I don't have to go over that one. We already took our profit on that one. I don't even want to talk about that one. Knock is still on my list. Got Knock, got VRTX. I don't have any calls for Knock. Knock is still flagging, but I want to see how it holds this week. I need it over 366.76 to hold this week. And then next week might be the biggest move. Or this week can be the big move for Knock. So keep that one in mind as well. A lot of these stocks that we are in, a lot of people are have gotten in, and they're actually chasing what we already have profited on, which is not even bad. More eyes on that means less eyes on other things that they were already on. So that's the way to go. Once NOK gets over 377.96, it's just like I said about GWW. It was 277.06, important. Netties, it was 270. It was 270. It was 270. Let me make sure. Netties was 270. After that, it's game over. We're going higher. We also got some plays for ER. I'm looking at TLRD. But more importantly, I like Oracle. I like the setup. I like the weekly. I mapped it out. It has potential, but it also has a potential for downside too. But what got me to stay in it was, well, I'm not in it actually, but what got me to stick to the plan would be the weekly. It somewhat has a bottoming box pattern here. Big red candle, inside red, spinning top, then followed by a green outside on that spinning top. Closed at 53.19. Tested the 30 SMA for a vacuum. Now we need it to hold 53.19, move up, and possibly test the 14 SMA. It depends on how this is going to work. And if this happens, we can see 58 in the next two to 3 weeks. So I have calls for those as well. So right now, that's it for everything that we are watching this week. We got long-term and we got short-term core plays. Please stay focused. Don't focus on much lottos. Focus on the core plays. If you ask a question and saying you still think there's a chance in this play, that means get out. I'm sorry, but don't ask other members that. I don't tolerate that in the room. You need to learn how to take actions for your own trades. If you're executing it, we're not in here to hold your hands. I gave you the targets, all the charts. Levels are there, are posted. If it does not hold, you know to get out. If it holds, you know to either stay in or add to it.